Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is going to be tip 270, and I'm going to say drop the stinging words. And this kind of came up today because my goddaughter reached out to me yesterday, and she wants to read a book together, and she brought up this book. Oh, I forgot to flip my phone around. It was funny because I had started reading it for a book club a while ago, and I remembered we never finished it. So I pulled it out last night, and I was kind of flipping through some of the things that I had highlighted from the first time around. And it kind of made me realize everything, at least for me, that I've had to work on a lot in the past 2 years, and that I have worked on a lot the past 2 years, is the words I use, and that the words we use affect our self-worth, our self-confidence, and I think our willingness and ability to make changes in our lives. So it was kind of not funny, but some of the quotes that I'd highlighted. Hi, Dolly, good to see you. And some of the quotes I highlighted, this was in a chapter referring to love the one you is, but they talked about, like, we've got to ditch the self-deprecating humor. We do that and we don't realize that it's destructive and it prevents us from moving forward. And it kind of said, do not spend your life clinging to the insulting decisions you've made about yourself. Instead, make the conscious choice to replace them with new, improved ones. And through the Doc V Challenge, I've done a lot of that in the past year, is replacing the thoughts. I've been working with Law of Attraction coaching too, which is about keeping your energy high, keeping your thoughts forward, releasing the negative thoughts. And what I found really interesting about doing a lot of this, trying to be a positive thinker, is that I don't engage with those that are not anymore. I used to, because I didn't have self-confidence, it allowed me to fall in with them when they were going to a negative place. And now it's just like we naturally break. And if you can't be civil, sometimes it's just best to break and come back when you can be nice. Good morning, Dolly. So good to see you. But I thought some of these quotes, it was interesting, like all this time later, probably a revisit is good, because it was kind of saying, if you are self-talk, if you have to think about this, but when you have a self-talk to yourself, like it says, sometimes we keep referring to ourselves as this monster, as this person who should be better. And it said what we need to do is replace that thought of us being a monster, or us not reaching levels, or us not being the person we think we want to be. And we got to replace that little monster to I'm just a little bunny working through my issues. And I thought that was so cute, because we all know I love to see bunnies in the morning when I walk. And this morning I saw a couple of them running around. Usually when we walk up on them, because I walk with Mom in the morning, when we walk up on them, all of a sudden you'll see them spin around and we'll see their little tail run off into the distance. But I thought it was so cute, because this says, stop calling yourself the monster and call yourself the cute little bunny working through your issues. And then, of course, apologize to that little bunny for not talking very nicely to it over the years. And I think that's so important, because we would not, and we know this, we would never talk to others that way. We are stinging with the conversations we have with ourselves. And that is the defeating issues that we all face. Because Doc V's been talking about it a lot lately, that we have got to stop saying I can't drink the water. We've got to stop saying I can't drink the smoothies. We've got to stop saying I can't, because more or less, think about every time you say you can't, it just means that you're not willing to. So we have to get rid of that and recognize every time we say I can't, it simply means we're not willing to. So when you recognize that and change that I can't, those stinging words, maybe it will open you up to that little bunny of hope, or that little butterfly fluttering around trying to experience new things. The I can't and that I won't, those are the stings that kind of prevent us from moving forward. So we want to find, and the tools that I use are the same things that I've talked about. I use positive affirmations, I use meditations, I use, even walking as a way to kind of release it. We know we have to work on our self-worth. We have to be more positive, try to keep our energy high. And it does make a huge difference. We know that our talk is not good. And if we don't shift it, if we don't try to make it better, we fall into that pit of despair where we don't move forward. And it is a lot to do with, I think the first step is get rid of the stinging the self-stinging that we do that prevents us from feeling good about ourselves, from moving forward, and from recognizing that the only one stopping us from making changes in our life is us. It's back to everything that every single coach that you'll run into says. The only person who can change our lives is us. And it does start with self-worth, self-talk, and self-acceptance. Accept who we are, where we're at, and that we can change, and that we can make the progress, and we can drink a little bit more water. We can walk a little bit more. We can eat a little bit differently. We can start to recognize that we are worthy. We can start to recognize that we are good people. We can start to take the sting out and become better people and to feel better about ourselves. So it was sweet. I'm glad that my goddaughter brought this up, that she wants to read this, because it did remind me a lot of like the talk. And it's funny because you'll see I have highlights all over it from the first time that I read it, and I will read it with her. But we need to get ourselves to see how amazing we are. And I'll read this directly there so I don't sound funny, but it says, we need to get yourself to see how amazing you are. This is like pushing a giant marshmallow up a hill. That's why the words are so important. Trying to get ourselves to recognize how important we are is like pushing the marshmallow up the hill. We have to start shifting the way we talk. We have to make our self-perception better. We have to stop stinging. And those words do sting, and we know they sting if we give them to someone else. So we need to stop stinging ourselves. It is like that stunt. Every time we start to make progress and we think we made one little step wrong, we do the sting and then we stop to heal again and we don't move forward. Our words need to support us in the same way that we would support someone else. So thank you for listening, and just remember, be kind today. Don't sting, don't say something negative. Try to catch yourself. Doc V gave us a Dr. Wayne Dyer hour-long kind of affirmations to listen to in the background, and I'll listen to that today, because anything we can do to kind of shift our thoughts to support us in our journey, it's helpful. We need to treat ourselves with the same respect that we treat everyone else. And we need to recognize that everything is possible. In the same way that we encourage and nurture other people to make changes, we need to encourage and nurture ourselves. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you guys soon.